Are we live?
Are we live?
Oh, okay.
That's a good way to start this show. Hello and welcome to everyone. It's Thursday at 3 o'clock. It's November 1st. We're here live at Epiphan, and welcome. We had quite the interesting day yesterday. We're recovering.
It's a pretty wild party here.
Epic, as you can see.
All of our colleagues here, they're still at it. I can't believe it.
By the chaos behind us. So hopefully everyone had a great Halloween. Those of you who have kids, hopefully they enjoyed it. That's the most important part, I think, which doesn't apply to me. So
that's right. And now I have mountains of candy to get through.
As you can see by the mountains of
and
candy.
beer even.
Yeah. So what are we doing today?
Well, let's hope we're live today, because this is our show about epic live stream fails. And you know, when I first started looking at the show, I thought maybe we can find some really great fails, but then I realized most of those were like video gamers and stuff talking about not safe for work stuff. But we have our own history of all these incredible failures, and I say incredible because every time something goes horribly wrong with one of our live streams, we dive into it and we figure out what went wrong, and we try to, it gives us an understanding of what people who are trying to do live streaming, what they go through. So it's kind of
big point of the show is to be able to
live the pains and misery.
Screw up ourselves so that we can hopefully help you guys learn to catch these mistakes before they happen instead of while they're happening.
And some of the things that we do, every week we try and do something new to the show. So we'll introduce a new piece of software that we want to run, or a new piece of gear that we want to try out, or we'll bring in another camera angle and stuff like that. And all of these are points of failure.
This week we're introducing alcohol.
Grey Goose. Yeah. Sponsored.
Not sponsored. So as always, of course, I'm watching chat. So if you guys have questions in there, we got a few people. Michael Strong saying hi from Romania. A few other people, hi from the Bay Area. See Marta in chat. Daniel Wright.
Hi, everybody.
The usual suspects starting to pour in, so that's great. Hello, everyone.
Share your own failures on this show.
Yeah, if you guys have some funny stories,
we'll
throw
call
them in
you
chat.
And embarrass you in front of the world.
And the other thing, since it's November 1st, it kicks off a few things.
Shark Month!
Shark Month.
Whoop, gotta keep my hands low.
Shark
Month.
Shark Month. So what the heck is Shark Month?
So this is because we've discovered this great tool from some people we met that run a piece of software.
Platform.
Get with the times.
Platform.
A platform called
Streamshark.
Yes. Which I always want to say Sharkstream. Streamshark.io. And well, what is Streamshark?
Yeah, so we're gonna spend this month, each episode, I guess, through November, using Streamshark, and we are right now. But also we'll dive deeper in as the month progresses. But Streamshark at a basic level is a restreaming service, CDN, like others out there.
So we can stream to, right now we're streaming to YouTube and Facebook through Streamshark.
Right. So we have our Pearl 2 that a lot of you know what that setup is. We have our Pearl 2 going to Streamshark, and they're redistributing that stream to the YouTube and Facebook streams. But in addition to that, and this is where we're going to dive deeper throughout the month, is that they also have a whole other section that they can offer beyond just restreaming.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool platform.
It's kind of a hybrid of a CDN, a restreaming service, and a CMS, a content management system.
Really geared more towards enterprise customers.
Absolutely.
So, but it's a really cool platform, and we're going to have them on the show, or we're going to do something, we're going to play a video, we're not quite sure there, but we're going to talk about it more. And,
we'll dive into some of their features as we progress, because we're doing pretty much the most basic setup this week. And
we didn't want it to fail today. That was kind of an important thing, that we didn't fail today.
Exactly, yeah. So, and aside from that, well, it's also November, or Movember, as some people might say.
You don't qualify for Movember. You can't get in on the Movember action.
But for anyone who is participating in Movember, there are some Epiphan staff that are doing that. But if you do know anyone who is participating in Movember, please encourage them and donate to them and all those things.
Yeah.
We're not officially doing anything there, but I always try to encourage people to participate in those things. So, So
have some vodka.
Yeah, that's a good idea. No, I'm going to stick with coffee this time.
So we do have a bunch of fails we want to get to. So most of these are ours. We are going to eat crow and talk about what went wrong, and we'll kind of explain why. At the end, we're going to sum it up and tell you, we're going to try and sum it all up into how you can avoid these failures.
Hopefully. So what's our first fail?
The first one was our we tried to do something big for our 50th show. This is our 84th show here, and we went in a car doing live streaming in a snowstorm.
Yeah.
So what we're watching here is actually the more successful part where it kind of worked.
Well, that just
for like
made
a
a
minute.
huge jump right there.
Yeah, we were dropping
and
frames.
jump.
And
Oh, yeah.
the live chat was a disaster, and we tried to go. What we wanted to do was go downtown to the Parliament buildings in Ottawa. It's beautiful. You've got the lights, and it's winter. It's very pretty, but we couldn't get network connectivity. That's due to a lot of things, mostly the fact that it was a snowstorm, I think.
It had a lot of elements to it. One, we didn't really realize or have the correct gear for the LTE connection to be that
like our
stable.
modem was we had a junky modem and not a great modem. We didn't have big
that great.
So you want big antennas. And
we learned from our experience of that, but also talking to some companies afterwards, that cars can often act, although they have a lot of glass, they still can act a lot like a Faraday cage and lock signals.
What is a Faraday cage?
It blocks signals.
Oh,
so like if you never want to get a cell phone call, just throw your cell phone in the microwave and it'll never get a signal because the Faraday cage.
Got it.
So they operate a lot like that, and we ran into some companies at some trade shows that talked to us about, you know, how they have external antennas that they mount on law enforcement vehicles and stuff like that, just to be able to get better penetration by a wire through the car. So that would have helped. Having a better modem would have helped. Having something that supported either bonding or LTE plus for multiband connection,
so now
all those things would have helped.
We're a little bit nervous about these mobile streams.
We will try it again.
Well, and our friends in Palo Alto, Marta and Philip, did a great one, and they had some touchy spots where you could see their connectivity wasn't great because they were walking around the streets of
But
Palo
it wasn't
Alto.
as bad as ours.
No, it was 1,000 times better, and it worked. I'd say it was a success.
We've even done one in a trade show, which should have been worst case scenario.
Oh, yeah, that was amazing.
Very successful.
That was our most likely fail episode. That actually
and it was one of the most successful mobile ones we've done.
Yeah, that
so
was a good one.
There's definitely an infrastructure part of it, connectivity and everything else, and so we're learning. We'll definitely try it again. The car one I do want to reattempt, but with better gear.
We're going to mount it to the roof of the car.
Or something, yeah.
Yeah? Sunroof.
Maybe.
We had a sunroof on that one, too.
We have different modems now, so we'll see.
We could be hanging out of the sunroof.
It's a good idea. Let's not do it in the winter.
Motley Crue style 80s video.
Not in the winter.
No, not in the winter. Yeah, so that was our first epic live fail.
Yeah.
Our next one, let me pull that up. Well, this isn't our next one. This is another one, which was recent. We were in a hotel room in Sweden, and we thought we were all clever, and we'd figured out all of our gear on the road.
No problem. Super easy.
Yeah. We're live for like 10 minutes, and the chat's filling up with all these people. Cameron's texting me, like, no audio, you guys. And we're like... And trying to do hand signals, and that was a disaster.
It was also an OBS failure. And so in that instance, we were doing an out-of-the-ordinary thing where we weren't using a hardware encoder as we usually do, and we were using my laptop and OBS. And combinations of settings and OBS having a weird audio, confusing audio interface where it shows levels even though the audio is not actually being encoded.
You were so mad. I remember
was very
that.
mad.
That was a rough night after that.
I mean, it was also 9 o'clock at night after walking around Stockholm all day. So
yeah, no.
It was pretty...
But then ultimately we pulled it off, kind of. I'm sure we lost all kinds of people who were like, there's no audio here. I'm here.
But I actually had fun doing that episode.
It was a really fun time,
It was fun.
Yeah.
And
so
we had
that
a
was
good
a fun
day
disaster.
Yeah.
It was a good day.
But it was a good warning of, you know, as we've often said on this show when it comes to these things, is you got to test and repeat. You know, you can't just assume because things will go wrong. And we made one wrong assumption, and that was the audio part.
It happens to us every time. One little tiny detail. We don't check a box on something or turn an audio on a layout or something like that. Even this show, I was really nervous because we were going through this new StreamShark thing, and I thought, we're going to do something wrong. It's a new platform. So I try to limit new stuff for special shows like this one.
Exactly.
Yeah. How are we doing? Lots of comments here? This is good?
There's a few comments in there. Craig was just saying Epiphan, the last live show was a switchboard live fail, and we're getting to that one.
Yes.
You know, Glenn was just saying, how much do additional users affect connectivity? Actually, we did have... Did you have it in your examples? The firework fail?
No, that was another one we tried to do from
So
downtown.
no one saw that. because it didn't happen.
Yeah, the reason I didn't bring it up because it doesn't exist. It literally does
But that kind of plays into what Glenn's talking about, is Dan had attempted to do a live stream of the Canada Day fireworks downtown Ottawa back
there's
in
like
July.
100,000 people
More than that.
in a very congested area.
And because of that, and he was trying to do it over LTE, but because of the sheer number of people in a condensed area, the cell networks were overwhelmed, and he couldn't get a connection at all. And I've had that happen when I've been downtown during those big
just
groups
basic connectivity.
where text messaging doesn't work.
What about if it was a 5G?
Well, maybe, and that's the thing. Maybe future...
Can 5G handle that many more people? Is it also...
Potentially, yeah. And we'll have to see. As 5G starts to come online more, we'll see.
Yeah, in 15 years when Canada gets 5G networks?
Yeah, then we'll see. But, that's definitely something you also have to consider, which was one of the reasons why we assumed the trade show stream that was actually very successful would fail, was because we assumed that 60,000 people with cell phones in their pockets.
Is it possible they just have that much more infrastructure, that many more towers in that area because there's so many people? It's Las Vegas,
very possible,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
So there's a lot of things there, and that's the most difficult one is that's almost impossible to predict, right? Other than if chances are, if you're in the middle of a crowd of 1 million people, chances are something's going to go wrong.
Not the best time.
Something's going to go wrong.
Yeah, during fireworks, there's this beautiful display which everybody wants to take pictures of and share to their Instagram and things like that. So,
Imad was just saying, is there a way to connect a Pearl encoder through a 4G LTE USB dongle?
That's kind of what we did, right?
Kind of, but not really. So a USB directly into a Pearl
directly
wouldn't work.
Yeah.
It would still have to be over Ethernet by some method. So if you have... There's a lot of routers out there that support USB dongles, and then they'll just route the Ethernet to something like Pearl.
So it's a solution. You just need like 2 or 3 little pieces of gear.
Or you can get the dedicated, like we now have. The next time we'll try with the Netgear one that we have, which has Ethernet built into it. And
could I then get a giant antenna for this thing too? Yeah. This walk-around antenna?
It has external plugs.
No, I mean a big one.
Yeah. It has external plugs. You just plug in whatever antenna
Any size I want?
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
Pull in all the signals.
And you could be running up to the rooftop somewhere.
Sure, why not?
Aiming.
We'll try it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The next one, we want to make a special shout out to our friend, Phil. Last week, if we can show our picture of Phil there.
Phil, great save, Sandler.
Phil, he pulled it off. Last week we were in California, and the nice thing about this was they had an epic live stream fail where suddenly they started streaming a fake log home demonstration. And it's kind of convoluted. I don't really want to get into how it all happened, but basically one stream took over our stream.
It was very simple.
It was our own other stream.
Basically, 2 encoders.
Wait, okay, log home?
Yeah, log home. Epiphan Live. Running from the same system, had 2 different encodes, both pointing at the same YouTube stream key.
And this one's working great.
That one's working great, and then this one gets turned on and took over.
Yeah, okay. So that's what happened last week. And why we point out Phil is because he was there dealing with all this.
Trying to conduct an interview.
With our friends from Switchboard who came all the way from Philadelphia. And so ultimately, he pulled it off. We got the stream back going on. They reset. We got a ton of people watching it. A lot of great feedback and comments from it.
It was kind of funny. Yeah.
And you can see sort of Phil trying to figure out what's going on, and then he's telling everybody that it's not working, but then ultimately it all worked out. So he was our star of the day. He also queued up this show so nicely. That was really gracious of him. So I think they actually did it on purpose, just to give us grist for the mill here.
Maybe, yeah. But if you guys missed that did have some great stuff talking with the guys at Switchboard.
Yeah. Another restreaming application and all of these things to help you minimize your fails. Unfortunately, we failed during that explanation of that specific service, but...
Yeah, but that's okay. But things happen. And again, it's another, now I think the mistake that happened was on YouTube we use a persistent stream key. Yeah. And someone just happened to copy and paste it into a place where it
So if
shouldn't
I'm
have been
streaming with
point,
this one persistent stream key from one encoder, got a device that's an encoder streaming, and then suddenly you put in you have that same key and you start streaming to that.
I'll take it over.
And how does it determine who wins?
It's whoever comes next.
Yes, but so what happened? So we had 2 streams going up, and suddenly we dropped one, and the other one took over.
So the
was
real
there an interruption or something?
The real one was first, and then the second one started, and basically just overrided the data.
Oh, okay. So you could keep.
They were
doing
technically
that.
both
Yeah.
were running, but you could just stop the first one and restart it. It probably would have taken over, or just stop the second one and then the first one would resume. And the risk there, I guess, is persistent stream keys are really nice and easy because they help your speed of
but you're
setup.
exposed for that kind of vulnerability.
Right, exactly. And it's another reason why whenever you're playing with setups, make sure to protect your stream key from the public view, because if you accidentally leak your stream key, someone can hijack your channel.
Do you see that on like Twitch and stuff like that? People must
Well,
do that.
they have set up their dashboard to make sure
they
you
make
can't.
it.
It's
Yeah,
hidden.
that's right. Yeah.
So, but that's very important because they always use a persistent stream key unless you manually change it.
We should actually broadcast ours next time, and see if
that
we can
could
get.
be really bad and could get us banned on YouTube.
Really?
Good idea.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on the content someone streams.
It's exciting.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing
It's
that.
a Russian roulette kind of deal.
Yeah, so there's some risk to persistent stream keys and how you share them and how they're used, and so making sure that when you set up certain things like the way YouTube works, when you can create a custom encoder profile in your YouTube dashboard that has a persistent stream key, making sure that you don't just use one universal one, that you always kind of mix it up a bit so that there's no collisions.
Yeah. We have Luca here talking about how he's looking to do some live streaming shows from his car. So I like that topic a lot too, and I'd be curious to see what you come up with, Luca.
We do need to do our own experiments more around that.
Yeah, we've done it from a motorcycle, we've done it from a car. I'm going to do it from my bicycle.
The motorcycle actually worked pretty well for the most part.
Yeah. Well, you're in the
audio was a problem.
Yeah.
And moving too quickly was a problem, but
you move faster than the stream. Faster than
it was a compression thing. It was just too much action.
Yeah.
We were going pretty quick at some points in that stream.
So those are some of our most epic live stream fails. But we also have some people who are not Epiphan employees, such as Mr. Mark Zuckerberg.
We've brought this one up before.
This was a doozy. This was like early days, day one of
Facebook Live. Yeah.
And so here he is streaming from his backyard, and the quality is horrendous, and partially that's because he's using his phone, and he probably doesn't have great connectivity somehow in Palo Alto, California.
They actually don't, weirdly.
Really?
Yeah.
That's true. Even outside of our Palo Alto office, they kind of moan about it.
Yeah. But yeah, the low quality of the camera because it's on his phone.
Yeah.
In a complex lighting environment. That's the part that makes it look bad.
Oh, I know. And then the stream dropped at one point, and he had all these notifications coming in from his
So there's the other thing.
Barbecue.
Using his phone that also was receiving all the notifications and text messages and emails and all the other things that a Mark Zuckerberg would get on his phone.
Yeah, they were buzzing like you're watching a show and you hear these things.
He had the Bluetooth connection to the wireless meat thermometer that was like sounding alarms.
Yeah.
And all of that was coming back through the phone. So it would vibrate and the stream is vibrate. It's just...
and he's got his fingers. He's actually using the phone.
So all of these were things on the not to-do list.
They were on a not to-do. I don't really give him any slack for it because he's like, well, he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, I mean, he can really do it.
And he was just trying to communicate with his people, so that's really a good thing. But it kind of would be nice if he, I think it'd be good. He would be happy if he had a better quality stream.
Yeah, and again, part of this is things are under and overexposed because it's a camera phone, and so it doesn't really pick up things properly that way. And I think he's using the front-facing camera as well, so he can see himself, which is the weaker of cameras on a phone.
Yeah.
And all these other things. So, but it is a good example of a great concept. The execution maybe not quite there.
You've been there. I've been there.
Doing a Q&A, an Ask Me Anything,
it's the perfect
live stream
application
kind of thing.
for a live stream.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Super great idea. Very impressive a guy like Mark Zuckerberg would even attempt to do that.
Totally.
It's very revealing and exposing, and if you're not used to that, it could feel a little weird. But so props to him for that. But yeah, the execution should have been a little better, a little more foresight.
Starburst?
No.
None of these?
I've had so much candy.
Really?
No. I gave it all away.
You gave it all away? Did you get a lot of kids?
Good number. Yeah.
Yeah. We always get way too much.
Yeah. No, I didn't. I'm cheap. So
we do have one more. We have one more.
So
this is, again, I don't want to drag anybody's name through the mud, but our friends at WestJet
It was a Canadian airline, by the way.
Yeah, and they're a good airline, but they tried to do a live stream, and their audio was like this massive buzz. You've all heard that, like the connectivity's not right, you've got some interference, and you've got this crazy buzz. So it made it ultimately unwatchable, this press release thing.
Yeah.
They were doing about, I don't know
Exactly.
It was about...
They're making a bunch of special announcements. They recently announced they're going to start flying to Barcelona.
Okay.
Very, very good to know.
Yeah, so it's a big business thing, and they probably hired somebody to do this. And,
yeah.
And unfortunately, that if it's got that bad sound, you just can't hear it.
Yeah. And we've talked about that on the show before, where audio is almost more important than your video, because your video they could have been streaming this in like 40 megabit 4K, and it would have looked awesome, but that audio still would have ruined the whole thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, they could have been streaming in 3D, like it wouldn't have mattered, right? Just because the audio was so bad, it turned everyone off instantly. All the comments, which they've now disabled the chat replay, because all the comments were, your audio's crap, and people are freaking out.
Yeah.
Justifiably, they were freaking out.
Yeah.
They've now, in the VOD, disabled the chat replay, because all of it was just complaints about audio. Right. So that's never a good thing, and making sure, obviously, that that's clean. Whoever the operator was running the streaming gear should have checked that, and somehow...
Well, don't forget that once it's happening, you're like... You might have been paralyzed.
You might have been, yeah. And so it is hard to say what happened, but there's a lot of things that went wrong there.
Would you like an AV Studio beer?
No. I'm sticking with the vodka.
We also noticed it's also a ghost beer, because we have, believe it or not, people, this is a green screen. And
you're totally ruining the illusion.
Well, they stuck with us.
We're
30 minutes in. We can let them in on the show.
So we do have a couple comments in here that I wanted to look at.
Put your comments in the
Imad
YouTube
was also
chat.
asking there. He's curious about whatever our next sort of solution suggestion for doing LTE with a Pearl, and also are we preparing for LTE bonding product? Well, we're not going to make our own product. That's not what Epiphan does. There are bonding products already on the market. And so that's a space that already exists, and there's a lot out there. There's tons of ways of doing it.
Why can't we do it?
Well, because it's a whole other different type of technology than what we do. We don't make modems.
No, we don't.
So bonding is a great idea when you're doing mobile stuff. If you have the means.
Expensive.
It is expensive, but if you need the reliability or you have the means to do it, definitely a good thing to explore. We've talked about that in previous episodes with the guys from Mushroom Networks, so you can go back. That was quite a while ago now.
It was.
You can go back in the catalog and look at that show. There's a lot of other products out there that can do it as well. Martin was saying he got taken down 3 times in a row on Facebook because a DJ was playing copyrighted music in the background.
That's a show we should do.
We've covered that a little bit.
A little bit. Show. But how to use legitimate music for your
and we also covered in a news segment in one show where we talked about how Facebook is actually trying to work with record labels
to get the licensing,
pre-buy the license so that
YouTube did that, right?
To a degree, yeah.
So there's
Facebook's
a bunch of
trying
catalogs like Columbia or something like that?
Yeah, Facebook's trying to do it more.
Okay.
The problem is there isn't like a published list that I've seen of this list of 100 songs is okay, right? So, but the music is always your number one risk with live streaming, as it is with posting a video to YouTube. I mean, years ago I posted my own personal videos to YouTube, and they all got copyright flagged because I used music that I shouldn't have, right? And that's the way it works, and it's so automatic now, and it's so aggressive now.
Are they the same with video content? If I like, so one of the things I was talking about for this background was using that movie Office Christmas Party. Remember that?
Yeah.
It's a hell of a party. And
so
I thought, well, you play that in the background here, but I knew, of course, it's copyrighted. I didn't want to do that, but I do wonder if it would have been taken down because
Probably
of that.
not.
Because it's a background?
Because enough of it is hidden.
Sure, okay. But if we played the whole thing, it's going to get flagged for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Because there's a lot of tricks that you can find, and I'm not suggesting anyone do these, but there's a lot of tricks that you can play with, right? Like a lot of people successfully post movies on YouTube because they just edit it and flip it.
Well, Cameron showed me the one of like how guys...
Or angle it just so that the algorithm doesn't pick it up.
Okay, no, sorry. It was Philip who showed me how people do... they live stream UFC, so Ultimate Fighting.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big pay-per-view thing, right? So if you try to just repost that, it's going to get taken down.
Yeah.
So these guys pretend they're doing a Twitch stream of a...
playing a game.
Playing a game, yeah.
Yeah. That guy got banned from Twitch for doing that.
Did he?
Yeah.
But he's also like
I think he got
hero
reinstated.
to the restreamers
Yes,
of the
but
world.
I think he also got reinstated afterwards. But he initially did get banned once they figured out what was happening. So there's a lot of risk with music. So Martin, it's always a big risk when you're doing live events. I mean, everyone's exposed to that. Just look at in politics, for example, the number of bands who have sued political figures for unauthorized use of their music.
That's right.
Right? It's a thing you have to deal with, and most of all, try and avoid it. It's even
for good reason.
And a bigger reason to make sure that you have control over the audio, so that if someone starts playing something, you have a short window of time of a few seconds where you'll get away with it to turn it down, cut it from your stream before you get kicked. So,
so we've talked about why all these streams go wrong. So we have some very scientific data to show why you might fail.
Yeah.
Now, I say scientific tongue-in-cheek.
You might fail creating a pie chart.
So this is another lesson. Don't create your show graphics within 15 minutes of going live, because you may aim for 100% and get 110%
fail.
So this is to show the extra importance. I needed that extra 110. You know, like they say, give it 110%.
Yeah, you did.
110% of fail.
You gave it 110% fail, for sure.
But let's imagine this is a legitimate diagram here.
With the math done properly.
With correct math. And I wanted to explain what goes wrong with a live stream. Like, what are the most common things? And for sure, half the time it's networking, in that we don't have enough bandwidth to get our stream up to YouTube and Facebook and wherever. Because as soon as that happens, it's like everything goes haywire and it's a disaster. And most of these examples we showed you today were from that.
Yeah.
The next most common one is user error. I still blame George for a lot of these. He blames OBS. You know, we throw blame around different places.
Yeah. User error. Phil starting a second stream over top of last week's. That's a user error.
There's denial. A lot of blame being thrown around here.
Anyway,
that was user error.
That was a user error for sure.
Okay.
WestJet is audio.
Audio is another one. Like, that's a different kind of error, because it just means you had bad AV set up.
It is, but at the same time, their visual and their network was great.
Yeah, everybody's good at getting. A lot of people are good at getting a good visual up, but a lot of people forget to do the great audio. And then the last one is platform errors. So
we've had some of those.
We've had a bunch of these where you push start on our local encoder, and it's supposed to just start on Facebook, but then Facebook doesn't start, so you have to go up and push start at their platform.
YouTube does that every time. They can't tell time and start an event properly. So
so goofy things with platforms, and then they change the way things work. There's like a million little stream now versus event streaming on YouTube, and streaming to groups on Facebook versus other places. Like, there's so many different, very specific
there's a lot of
scenarios
ways to make
and places to stream. There's a lot of opportunity for failure there. Yeah. And so, again, most of that's probably user error, but it's just the nature of platforms. They're always changing. So that's kind of the summary of the error thing on that.
Exactly. Ruben was just mentioning here in chat that he was having a lot of problems with streaming using Webcaster over Wi-Fi, and he's using a direct wire now. And that, honestly, is not surprising. Wi-Fi is super convenient, but it also kind of sucks, because if you don't have a strong signal, or there's a lot of interference in the location, and that's going to vary all the time, you know, it'll collapse, and you'd miss bandwidth or whatever. Packet loss could be any number of things. So Wi-Fi is great when you can be super confident in a really strong, powerful Wi-Fi network. In my opinion, very rarely can you be that confident in it, unless you are the network designer and you've intentionally built in a very hardcore structure of redundancy. And
so the hotel Wi-Fi is probably not going to...
Yeah, I wouldn't trust hotel or venue Wi-Fi at all, because there could be 10,000 people trying to use it. Then Dennis Martin was just saying he was having some issues with his Webcaster streaming to YouTube, and if there was any help. This isn't the best venue for that, Dennis, so please reach out to our support team, send us an email, and give us some more details of what's happening there.
We have a forum where there's a ton of collateral on people like you talking about their Webcaster setups. So you can go to epiphan.com/forum, and there's a mountain of information in there,
Yeah.
and it's pretty active. People
And you can always reach out to us in email and live chat on the website as well, and we can help out. One thing I will mention, though, for YouTube, one of the common things you can run into very quickly is, and you can find out your status of this by going to youtube.com/features. It'll give you basically an account health overview. If you have any copyright or community strikes, very likely you're banned from live streaming. And so if you can check there and see, it can also tell you if live streaming is actually enabled. So there's some information you can get there that might explain why you can't successfully stream to YouTube. A webcaster is not going to tell you, hey, you've been banned. You have to find that out on your own. So that's something to always keep an eye on. Then someone was just mentioning all the stream pros say never trust Wi-Fi.
That's true. All the old timers we talked to who do this professionally, they're like,
Wi-Fi sucks,
never.
guys.
Unless it's all you have.
Yeah, unless it's all you have.
I don't remember what our next show is. Do you remember what next week's show is?
I don't, but I know we're going to be using StreamShark.
We will be using StreamShark. We will have them on the show, hopefully in some capacity.
Yeah. So if you guys have any questions about that, keep an eye out for those coming shows.
Yeah, and if you have any ideas for live shows, we're always looking for those. Or platforms you're interested in, or products you're kind of curious about. It gives us stuff to talk about.
Something that I was very curious about for the past little while that I noticed in the Webcaster X2 Facebook group. For those of you who maybe not members of it yet, there is a Webcaster X2 Facebook group that was started by a customer. And although some Epiphan staff members are members of it, it is not our group. So, but it's got a lot of actually interesting information in there. There's one gentleman who's been testing all kinds of interesting gear in there, posting pictures and sample streams.
He's got Raspberry Pis and stuff like that, doesn't he?
He's got these. He's got screens. He's testing batteries. He's testing switchers,
like
audio.
Our,
he got some sort of Yamaha USB mixer to work directly with Webcaster for audio.
We should get him on the show.
So there's some pretty cool stuff out there for anyone looking for ideas or help. That's also a pretty good resource. One of the more interesting ones I saw just recently, I guess, was someone who was using a Roland V1 switcher, which is a question.
With a Webcaster?
Yeah.
We always want to try that. It's a nice little switcher.
Well, we get the question all the time.
Yeah,
he says it works great. So
cool.
It's still one I want to play with myself.
I know. I really want to get it in here and play with it. It's a cool tool. So
the good news is people have done it.
Nice.
So, but I think that's going to do it.
Yeah. We didn't fail.
This time.
So we got to get back to our party here. Wake up our friends.
Yeah.
And we will be back here in a week at 3 o'clock. I'm not sure if we're going to be from here or from Palo Alto, but somebody from our team will be here at 3 o'clock next week. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like us on Facebook. It's good for us. It's good for you if you like the show.
Is it good?
It's good for us, and then we get.
It's good for us.
It's good for them because they get notifications.
That's true.
That's amazing.
What does everyone say? Click the subscribe, but also the bell.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Something like that.
We should get good at this stuff. Okay, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you later.
Thanks.